This is Audio Listening Magazine with Renee Marshall.
My name is Ryan Kazonis. Today is January 21st, 2021. I'm 33 years old, and I'm here with my buddy, Jeffrey Erickson. How you doing today, Jeff?
Hi, Ryan. And hi, I'm Jeffrey Erickson, and it's January 21st, 2021. I'm 34 years old, and I'm here with Ryan Kazonis. How are you doing here, Ryan?
I'm doing excellent.
Living the dream.
Of course. California dream. Speaking of which, I think that's where we met. We met in California. But how do you, Jeff, out of all of my friends, I have a pretty clear memory of how I met most people.
Okay.
You I have a pretty clear memory of, but I'm not sure if you remember me from that meeting. So why don't you tell me what your first memory of me is, how we met?
So I recall that you and I, when we first, sorry, my dog is howling at an ambulance. You and I met when we were going to the same church group, study group. That's what it was. We fell in love with Magic the Gathering, and just happened to meet each other at that youth group from our church. I remember that pretty clearly. I had just pulled my first green card. Remember Silvos? Yeah, that's right, Silvos, the elemental. And I'm about to slot him into a new deck now. So that's what I remember. I remember having had just pulled that and thinking, oh, this is gonna be great. And then you showed me what a green deck could be like for Magic the Gathering. What do you remember from that date?
So that was not the first time we met. I remember walking into that church group with Alex, a different friend of ours, and I walked into that room and saw you and another friend of ours, Chris Tucker, who I had no idea either of you were going to be there. Alex didn't know that we all knew each other from different parts of the high school. I met you probably in 2000, I think the year before that.
Okay.
Briefly. I was actually hanging out with, I don't know if you remember, a Russian guy, Vladimir.
Oh, Vladimir.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope, no idea who that is.
Yeah. we were hanging out in the gym. We were sitting in the bleachers, and you were in the bleacher above us.
As I want to do.
Yep. And he leaned his head back. I didn't know you at this time. He leaned his head back to talk to you because I guess he knew you. And he put the back of his head on the bleacher that was between the two of you. And I guess you had this look on your face like, I wonder what it would be like if I just put my foot on his face. And you did.
I did.
You did. You didn't step on him. You didn't like mash your foot in. You just kind of like gently placed your foot on his face.
Kissed his face with my foot.
With your foot. And
it was lovely.
And he was not so happy about it.
He didn't like man love. I get it.
Apparently, some people don't like having their face stepped on, but he was okay with it. Really, he wasn't that upset. But that's how I met you, and I was like, "Oh, this seems like an interesting guy. I gotta get to know him more."
Are you sure?
And then through
another Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then at some point, I saw you on campus again. We talked once or twice, and that was kind of it. We never really hung out. It wasn't until the day you're thinking of, where we walked into the church group together, that we really started hitting it off. And yeah, we bonded over Magic the Gathering.
Pink Floyd, Magic the Gathering, George Carlin, and hating on Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember that one.
Yes, we did. Oh, yeah, because
that's what Chris Tucker played. And
yes.
We tried to get him into Magic.
Yep, that's right. Him and what's his name? Stephen, the other guy in there. Yeah, they were playing Yu-Gi-Oh together, and you, Alex, and I were playing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I just actually went through my cards, and I still have a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I had previously. And it's just a deck. It's just a deck of cards, but I still have those laying around. Yeah.
What would you rather have, those still or your George Carlin CDs?
The George
'Cause I know-
Carlin CDs, because I might actually do something with them. The Yu-Gi-Oh cards are now useful, about as useful as a coaster.
But at least they have a use then.
Yeah.
Whereas your Carlin CDs were just gone. You know, stolen, I believe, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, so I was in the military for some time, and I had a room on the first level of the barracks, and I had a lot of counterfeit DVDs and CDs and video games that I purchased while I was in Korea the year prior, and it was great because I had this Xbox that I could literally burn games onto. I could like go to the game store, rent games, burn it onto the thing, never have to purchase another game again. It was awesome. Well, that got stolen from my barracks room along with all my CDs, all my games, everything that I had in that drawer. But they didn't touch any of my magic cards, which kind of says something. Which
yeah. You know,
it says, hey, I've still got those magic cards.
but that really brings us to another part here, because you like you said, you were in the military. You were there for 8 years. Is that right?
8 years, yeah.
8 years. And you know, we've been friends for 18 years now. Why is that? Why are we friends? Why are we still friends? Because I know why we were friends, but why were we still friends?
I feel like you and I are going to say the same thing. We haven't prepared anything, right? We haven't prepared anything, but I believe in us, Ryan. I believe that even a monkey at a typewriter could come up with the same thing twice, right? So here we go. I think that the reason why you and I are still friends is the same reason why a lot of people are around great people in their lives. You know, a lot of people bring the best out of each other. And you know where I'm going with this, because I think you had the same thing in your mind. We bring the worst out of each other. I think that it's fun to make fun of awful things. Because it distracts from the horrible reality of the world, and that camaraderie of saying some funny things about some awful things lightens the load, I think.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I was talking to Renee a little bit before you got on, and she can attest that's exactly what I told her. That we bring out the worst in each other. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But it's true. It's one of those things that we've always known that, hey, I can be really candid with you. I will never have to censor myself around you, and you won't judge me for some of the awful things I say. You might tell me like, maybe not in public, Ryan, and I'll take that to heart. It's happened. It's happened both ways. It's
like a social barometer. Like we know where the limit is. Like really shouldn't say that, but sometimes we like, can I get away with saying this? I mean, it's really funny. And it's like, does that test the lines of our morality? Does that test the lines of our ethics? And I think that it demonstrates that we know what appropriateness is.
We just choose to ignore it.
How we choose to observe that is that yeah.
but we've never judged each other for like, whoa, you can't say that. I don't think I could be your friend anymore. We've never even come close to that.
We should have, though. We should have. We should have now.
We have, wow.
We have a lot of inside jokes. I was like thinking about this today. I was like, there are just a couple of words we could say to each other, like rule 1, or is it rule 1 or rule 0? I think
it's the only rule.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's the only rule. It's the singularity, the rule. There's the rule. There's turn the page. There's we just said this the other day, neighbor.
Yeah.
There's several things we can't get into, but they're like, oh, and then there's everything. I love that literal quote in quotations, everything is my all-time favorite. I'll always go back to that every time because I know it to be true.
Would you would you mind if I explain that one?
I don't know. I think it might invalidate our entire conversation.
Well, if I explain it, okay. Well, I'll just throw it out there. So, or a different one out there then. We've always had a safe. Well, not always. Since we lived together, we had a safe word. And just the other day, you actually broke open that safe word.
I let it slip. I thought, hey, this is just the I'm very serious word, you know. But you know, Ryan, being the gentleman that he is, he was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Okay, it's the distress word. We use this word when in distress." And he was like, right there, he was on it. In fact, you know, there was actually a time a couple of years ago when I was in a really, really rough spot. You know, PTSD is an animal, and it can get rough. I called him one morning bawling. It was a really, really rough night, and you know, without a question, he was there at my doorstep. You know, he had called off of work. He told his boss, you know, he had gone camping or something. I don't remember what it was.
No, I just told him I have to take the day off.
Yeah, yeah.
I was at work and I just left. Yeah.
And you know, Brian has always been that guy. You know, he knows, and it was super, super rough. He thought that I think he thought that we were going to marry my wife, like I had made a mistake the night before, right?
There was no description of what happened. He just
it was just like, I have no questions. Let's just go.
I didn't have a shovel. I didn't own one, so I couldn't bring one. But you know, there was a hardware store near your house. I figured. You know,
there was a hardware store. Yeah. No, I mean, just being there. You know, no questions. Being available and being you know, a man going into the later years of his life will find that it's difficult to find friendship because it kind of comes off as like homosexuality, right? A little bit. We've kind of like not made that a thing between us. Making new friends in that old age or in older years is difficult. But then like maintaining friendships over that amount of time can also be difficult, to share the, like, I don't have anything wrong with the gay thing. And I don't know. I know that there's a story there. We used to live together. We lived together after I got back from Colorado after having gotten out of the military. Came back, we lived together in an apartment building, and all our neighbors thought we were together, you know.
Girls never came around for a while.
Yeah, gals didn't come. We were busy. We were hardworking dudes.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a relationship. You were just starting your relationship with your current wife, and but they never came around. We didn't really have them around too much.
It was the bachelor pad because that was the spot.
And one of our things was we always had this running joke. We would go out. We would go to a store. We would have a little back and forth, like a little argument, like a little tiff. Just not a real argument, just a joke argument. And then the argument would always end the same way: is we would turn to whatever stranger was next to us and say, "Do people think we're gay?" And
sometimes you wouldn't even ask for an argument. You just ask the cashier, "Hey."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then one day I was in the laundry room at the apartment complex, and I was talking to our neighbor, our direct neighbor, and she asked me what plans I had for the holidays. And I told her, like, oh, I think I'm going to go to, I think I was traveling. I was going to go see family. And she goes, oh, what about, and I'm like, no, he's going to be here with his girlfriend. And she says to me, oh, so you're not together? Like, he's like, no, we're roommates. This is, oh, you're just roommates. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And I walked back into our apartment, and I opened the door, and I just said, Geoff, people do think we're gay. And I was like, okay, we need a little change in how we act outside of the house now.
And what was my response? Something like, I can't believe you're wearing that. Of course they think you're gay.
Yeah.
Something silly, yeah.
It was, yeah. It was something like that.
But yeah. So, and I'm thinking about like into the future, right? What do you, so, okay, let me ask you, what do you think friendship's going to be like in 10, 20, 30 years when you're still the only dude without a kid, and or hey, maybe you'll spawn triplets on the first go, and you'll have the only kids, or excuse me, the only boys.
The only boys.
The other kids. Yeah, the only boys. Because yeah, I think that'd be fun to. I don't know, man. What do you think? What do you think it's gonna be like?
It's gonna be weird. Geoff here is expecting his first child. Pretty soon. Yep. Little girl, and our other friend has 3 little girls. And when he asked me why I wanted him to have a girl instead of a boy, I told him because I want to be the first one in the group to have a boy.
Because I said I wanted to have a girl for reasons, and then I asked him why he wanted me to. He was like, "I'm rooting for you, bud." Even everybody else was like, "Oh no, I think it's gonna be a boy. I think it's gonna be a boy." I was like, "No, man, a girl." Because Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, lots of fun to be had. I mean, I've got lots of toys. If that were the case, lots and lots of stuff already ready.
All the miniatures.
All the miniatures, yeah. All the books, all the miniatures. Yeah, that's just the hope. At least for me. But what were you saying, buddy?
No, just that you're gonna have yourself a little girl pretty soon. I'm not engaged. I'm dating currently, but I'm not engaged. I'm not there. And that hopefully that means I don't have a kid on the way. No, I'm sure I don't. But I take what example I've learned from Zan, our other friend, having 3 kids, and it's that you're going to be busy. You're going to have a lot of time that you have to dedicate to your home, and you can't really dedicate that time outside of your home. You're going to have to make time, but it's not going to be as abundant as it used to be. And it's up to your friends to make sure that they keep inviting you, that they keep coming over, that they keep in contact, because it's going to be harder for you than it is for me, let's say, right now. And one of the things that our other friend had to deal with was Zan. I would invite him, and he would say, no, I can't go. Then I would invite him out the next time. He says, I can't go. And then I invite him out the next time. He says, he can't go. And then one day he came up to me and apologized. And he said, I'm sorry. I know I keep saying no. And I don't want you to think that it's because of, and I said, look, we've all been friends for so long. I said, I know it's not, I know you're not saying that because of me. I know that you're just busy, but I'm not going to stop inviting you out, right? I don't expect you to say yes. One of these times you're going to say yes. And obviously he has many times over the years, but it's up to us to make sure, as your friends, as your group, because we're our community. It's not just Geoff and I here. We've got about a group of 6, 7 friends that we have just been so close for so many years. And it's up to us as a community to make sure that we're all still in contact with each other, that we all still just don't fall away from each other. And kids and wife, it can be hard, but we're all going to be there for each other in the end.
Word, homie. Yeah. When you were saying that, I was looking deep into your eyes. And I felt it, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's right there.
Most people look in my eyes and say I have no soul, but I'm glad that you. Yeah.
I felt your words.
I got it. Words don't have soul. You just felt the words. Understand?
Yeah, I'm confident things in the future are bright. Really appreciate you, bud.
Sorry, buddy. Ooh.